For more than 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter in our community. From our studios in St. Clair, you're watching Focus with Paul Dingeman.
Well, welcome to another edition of the Focus program. June keeps moving along. Lots and lots of wonderful things happening in Marine City and St. Clair, and we're here to tell you about all of those things again this week. Let's begin with an event that's happening at the end of this week, the St. Clair Art Fair, the 47th, and the president of that group. You're the president this year, Steve?
I'm one of three co-chairs.
Three co-chairs.
Yes.
Welcome to the Focus Show.
Thank you.
You haven't been on before. Mr. Grogan, nice to. I'm getting names all messed up
Grover.
today. Grover today, and this one I know, John Steffi.
Thank you,
I'll
Paul.
get that one right.
Yeah.
Fellas, welcome to the Focus Show. Where are we at? The art fair starts momentarily.
The art fair is just around the corner. It is June 23rd and 24th.
Right. And what's happening? Why is it a good one?
It's a great event. This year we're featuring 130 plus booths. 130 plus booths. We're really happy
more
about
than
that.
ever?
That's right up there. It's one of the biggest ones we've had in quite a number of years.
Are
Yeah.
you using the boardwalk more than the plaza area?
Well, this year you can expect to see art in the plaza. We have both courtyards in the plaza filled, and a good majority of the sidewalk and the boardwalk. The sidewalk, we're almost to the Voyager. We've got it almost filled. And then a large part of the boardwalk is filled with
brand new boardwalk.
That brand new boardwalk. We're really excited about it.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
And where do the artists come from?
Well, a lot of artists come from in-state. However, there are some that come out of state and as far away as Florida. So some of them are repeats, some are new. And we're really happy about that.
Previous years, over the 47th years, you've had a featured artist. Is that going to happen this year?
Yes, we have a featured artist. It's called the Emerging Youth Artist.
Oh, okay. So it's not one particular artist. It's a group.
Right. It's a group of artists. What it is it's emerging artists from middle school to high school.
Wonderful.
And from Marine City and up to Croslex.
Wow.
And we've selected some of their artwork and we have it on display at the gallery. So we're featuring featured artists and we're really excited
That's
about
a great
that.
idea.
Yes.
That's a great idea.
Yep. Our future artists.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're giving them the spotlight.
Okay. And the times and day of the days?
We're on Saturday and Sunday, and it's from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock on Saturday and 10 till 5 on Sunday.
Okay.
Downtown St.
Is there
Clair.
an admission price?
Our art fair is free,
Wow.
along with the parking. It's free, and a lot of our events are free. We have included in our art fair this year, we have some art making. We have, we're going to have somebody doing a carving of a stone, some pottery, some print making, and new this year we're going to have a 3D printer that will also be on display. So we're kind of showing the past and the future. You know, what could be developing and what's going on in the art world. So.
Okay. Is there musical entertainment?
There is music. The music will be both Saturday and Sunday. And we have a stage set up in the courtyard. And it's a chance for artists of that type to, Annette Kelper, to show what they can do. It gives them a chance to have some stage performance, entertain the crowd, and of course it's free, it's part of the art. We consider music part of the art environment.
Good. Mr. Grover?
Yes, sir.
You are a world famous runner.
I am.
You do go all over the place too.
I've been all over the United States.
And you're bringing one to St. Clair.
Yes, sir.
What are you doing?
Well, during the art fair, really it's a kickoff to the art fair. We have the Artful Dodger 5K, which is, it's a 5K that runs up the hill through the neighborhoods and then back down the hill, which is my favorite part.
And it is a 5K.
Yes, sir. We have a 2K fun run and a 5K competitive timed event.
Okay. And how many? How do I register? And how many people do you expect to come this year?
Well, we're hoping for 200.
Wow.
I mean, my goal is 6. That's a long-term goal, but a little bit at a time. We had 152 last year. You can register online at runsignup.com or pick up a flyer at the Art Center or the St. Clair Wellness Center. And there's a few other places around town where they're available. And you know, this year we took a little bit different approach. We went after the corporate sponsors in town. And
Good idea.
we got tremendous amount of sponsors locally. It was very exciting.
You want to mention a few?
Well, Neiman's Family Market.
Well, they're always there.
Yeah, they are always there, and they help us tremendously.
And don't they provide some bagels too at the end?
Oh,
of
the
event?
bagels and water and fruit and you know, apples, bananas, whatever. You know, after the run, you're starving to death, so you got to have something. North Star Bank, the River Crab, Martha's always great. St. Clair Realty, Judy, Sean, she's just spectacular in her giving. Pat Dorsey from Edward Jones in Ira Township, the St. Clair Wellness Center. McLaren Port Huron this year, Happy Dog Yoga. They're going to actually do a demonstration of yoga at 8 o'clock before the race. Marshall Family Chiropractic, St. Clair Eye, Riverview Federal Credit Union, Warwater Brewery, and Thorpe Printing. And then this year also there's a running club that started in St. Clair.
Really?
Called the St. Clair Running Club. It's started by Martin and Brandy Schmitz. And they've been really helpful.
When do they meet, or where do they meet?
Well, we meet at the Plaza 6:30 on Wednesday night and run anywhere from 3 to 10 miles. So we ran
Every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday, rain or shine, and I ran last night, so I'm really sore this morning, today.
Well, we've got a chiropractor sitting right over here. We can have him come over and
I
help
spoke to him already. So. And then, you know, we got Greg Whittakin from Roadrunner Timing. He's a good supporter, and Elite Feet in Port Huron.
Yep. Okay, so what's the time and how do I register, and when is the cutoff for registration?
You can register up till the event, 8 o'clock Saturday morning, the 23rd. The race starts at 8:30. We're typically done by 9:30, and we're out of there before the time the art fair starts at 10.
That's right.
So.
Okay.
Hopefully they'll stick around for the art fair.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Mr. Steffi, what's your involvement?
Well, Paul, I'm just a helper, and I'm kind of watching and learning what's going on. What I've seen with this Art Fair Committee and the St. Clair Art Association is nothing less than phenomenal. They start planning the art fair like the day after the last art fair is done. And
You have to.
yeah, and there's this really phenomenal group of volunteers, it's all volunteers, and community leaders that all step up to make this art fair happen. And it's kind of amazing. It's an elaborate coalition of both the community and people within the community that put on this art fair. And I was really amazed when I seen how much work really goes into the art fair. Of course, we all know it's an economic development tool. Our estimates are 10 to 20,000 people come.
Wow.
Yeah, they buy art, but they also go to the restaurants, the Voyager, you know,
it's
working
good
out.
economic development. It really is.
Yeah, the board of directors for the Art Association, they're the engine behind it. And then there's this art fair committee that's just phenomenal, phenomenal group of people. Of course, Steve and Vicki Path is on it, and Mike's on it. You know, Twyla and Mike and Ralph and Grant and Sandy and Wendy and Greg and, you know, Dave Fry helps out.
And there's
Lisa
an old fellow
Herm
by the
is
name
my.
of Jason Steyer, too.
Oh yeah, did I say Jason right off the get? You know, I can list everybody's names, but it's not just them that's doing it. They're coordinating with many other volunteers and many other groups. Like Steve's been working with the city of St. Clair. I was amazed when I learned how that involves the DPW, that involves the police department, that involves you know, the park committee. They're all chipping in to help throw on the art fair. The St. Clair Chamber of Commerce is involved in helping promote. The St. Clair Rotary, of course, has worked with the run, and a couple of us will try to help a little bit with the race if we can. You know, we didn't mention Community Foundation. They're also a sponsor, a financer of the group, so they really help out. Another big sponsor, we listed a lot of them, but Myers helps us out with the event. And I can't forget the East China School District. This year's art fair is about art education and advocacy, and the students are a show of that. So the emerging artists are part of our school district, so there's a lot of educators involved and even retired educators that are helping us. So the school district's part of that, and you know, there's probably somebody I just didn't even mention, and I'll just have to apologize because there's a whole group of volunteers. I know Jill helps with the members booth.
How many total volunteers will take to put on the event? Round figure.
We have probably around 20, I'm guessing.
That's a lot of work for 20 people.
I mean, that's up beyond our committee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really amazing what they do.
Yeah.
Well, let's review again. It's this coming, when this show airs, it'll be this coming Saturday and Sunday, all day in both instances.
23rd and 24th.
130 artists.
Yeah, 130. And I'd like to mention one more quick thing, if I may. We have activities for the kids.
Oh,
and of course, it's all free. And again, that coincides with the emerging artists. But what we're doing this year is we're having the kids paint rocks. And we also have a scavenger hunt with painted rocks, pre-painted rocks. So what we're going to do is we're going to hide some of them in amongst the booths. And if the kids find them, or whoever finds them, they bring them back to the gallery, and there'll be a free gift for them.
Great.
But we like to encourage creativity in the people. And St. Clair itself downtown has a lot of art. If you look at some of the statues and developments, and the public art, which is what John's part of, has done a lot of work in the city of St. Clair.
Correct.
So it's a culmination of bringing a lot of people together. It's a lot of work, but it's fun and it's rewarding. And as John mentioned, it's quite an amazing event when you think about it. I mean, here's two guys here that donate a lot of their time, and it's just much, much appreciated along with everybody else. And you know, we thank them for it, and we thank everybody else, and we thank the city for working with us.
Okay.
But it's a chance for people to come down and meet the artists. You know, you can talk with artists. We invited the mayor this year to come down and greet the artist, and people come on down, you know, talk to us. Behind every piece of art, there's a story.
Right.
And, you know, talk to the artist. We all have stories to tell, and about where we've been with our paintings and where we're going with our, I'm a photographer personally, but, you know, people that we've met, and it's such an inspiration to people, and we've made differences in people's lives, and that's really rewarding.
Okay, it's coming up. Everybody should come and see it. It's going to be beautiful weather. We guarantee that.
Well, we'll take you up on that.
23rd, 24th. Mr.
70
Steffi,
degrees.
Yep.
Thank you. See you, brother.
And 70 degrees, right?
70 degrees and nothing but sunshine.
Nothing but sunshine. And check out the brand new boardwalk.
Check out the new boardwalk. We'll be back with our next guest in just a second. We're back with Deb Johnson, St. Clair County Community Mental Health Executive Director. Welcome to the Focus Show.
Happy to be
June is here.
It is.
You are smiling.
It's beautiful weather outside.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a great day.
And this is, you handed me a note that this is PTSD Awareness Month.
That is correct.
That's a big title.
It is a big
title.
title.
For a big month. And that's an issue of national interest, isn't it?
It really is. And we're going to talk about not just trauma in general, We're going to talk about trauma, PTSD. We're going to talk about the impact on veterans. And with me, I brought Hillary Richards, who...
Hi, Hillary. Welcome to the Focus Show. Nice to see you. Nice to welcome to.
And
You came with a good person.
Yes, I did.
Thank you. Well, and Hillary is she's our lead clinician for, we received 2 years ago a trauma-informed care grant, and that's to do special work related to trauma. And I'm going to let Hillary really talk more about that because she's much more of an expert. I could have memorized all the information, but she actually does the work on a daily basis, and so she will talk about it.
There's trauma all over the place. There's trauma when you go to the grocery store. There's trauma in your home. But PTSD with veterans is huge, isn't it?
It is. It absolutely is. So, and you are right with the trauma being everywhere. It does affect anyone and everyone. It doesn't have demographic boundaries. And what trauma is, it's classified as any type of damage to the psyche that results, that occurs from witnessing or experiencing a significantly dangerous or harmful event. So it impacts all areas of life and can lead to long-term, lasting negative consequences. And it varies as far as the effects of trauma. Not everybody that experiences an event will experience it as trauma. But what we know is that trauma and violence are harmful and widespread and costly public health concerns.
So you could have trauma being in a huge automobile accident or an earthquake or something along those lines.
Yes.
You don't have to be a veteran that's been to the war.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's the same with PTSD as well. A lot of people, when they think of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, they think of veterans.
Yeah.
But it affects others as well.
Okay. Just going through a tornado or going through
Right.
a robbery at your place of business or something.
Absolutely. Childhood abuse, domestic violence, serious physical injury or health concerns, so all kinds of different things.
In your work as a clinician, what do you do with clients that come into St. Clair County Community Mental Health?
Well, at CMH, we have 26 different evidence-based practices. Our trauma-specific services include prolonged exposure therapy, EMDR, which stands for eye movement reprocess, or EMDR.
Right.
Anyways.
Too many letters.
Absolutely.
We have a little brochure. I'm gonna, while she's gathering her thoughts.
Oh,
there,
you're gonna cheat and get the notes.
Well, yeah, because she helped put this great thing together, and but we do have a brochure that we have on trauma-informed care, and we talk about all those things, including the where's the EMDR? I know it's here. Oh, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing.
Absolutely.
There we go.
What is eye movement? Whatever else you said.
It's a therapy that works with PTSD, and it's a really effective, along with prolonged exposure therapy. They're kind of like, the gold standard to treat PTSD, and it incorporates several different aspects of treatment, but it's part of tapping and things like that.
Wow.
I don't do the EMDR, I do the prolonged exposure.
Okay.
In addition to that, we have Seeking Safety, and we have TREM groups, which stand for Trauma Recovery and Empowerment Models.
Wow, there's a lot of stuff going on.
And that's something we really want to make sure that the listeners hear about, because for most services at community mental health, you have to meet specific criteria, and sometimes people say, my sister-in-law couldn't get in for services because she wasn't severe enough or whatever, but we, because we are mandated by the mental health code who we can serve with the funding that we receive. But for this special grant, we have the TREM groups that Hillary leads, and you don't have to meet the standard community mental health criteria. So she can talk a little bit about the eligibility for that in those groups.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we offer those, and in addition to that, we have a Veterans Navigator system that's offered to individuals or veterans that wouldn't otherwise qualify for services. And if individuals are interested in services and have a history of trauma, they can contact Melissa Singer at 810-966-2584, and she will link those individuals right up with services. So you don't actually have to be an individual in CMH services in order to receive the trauma care.
Do I have to be a veteran in order to?
No.
Okay. So I can just be a general citizen.
Absolutely.
St. Clair County, Sanilac County, Huron County, wherever.
Yep.
And I can go to my community mental health facility and get this kind of aid.
Absolutely, because Sanilac County and Lapeer County also have the trauma-informed care grant as well.
So I was just going to say, she gave a specific number to a staff person. Normally when I'm here, I give out that access number, which
Right.
is 888-225-4447. somebody could call that number if they don't remember the number she just gave. But if for some reason they're not accepted into the program, or they can even call me, because I don't think I'm going to get that many calls that I can't manage and direct people in the right way. But one of the things that, Hillary mentioned the Veterans Navigator grant, because that's another grant that we received to provide services to veterans, and we have a Veterans Navigator. I think I spoke about it before on a previous show, but Wendy Martindale, who is a veteran herself, and she can help vets with all kinds of things. So they don't have to have PTSD to come in to get services from the Veterans Navigator grant. Although we did have a veteran who was unable to leave his house. Actually, Hillary was involved in that because of PTSD.
What a terrible problem that would be.
Yeah, and so he was not able to get any of the benefits that he was entitled to for, 11 years?
Oh.
It's been out since 2011, I think.
Since 2011, okay, the 11 stuck in my head. But through the work that Hillary was able to do with him and Wendy, he got his entitlements not only for the current, but retroactive benefits. It's a great thing that we can do to help our veterans. We've been advocating for that for a long time.
Or your neighbor.
Or your neighbor, anybody. But yeah, so those two things are things we want to make sure that we talk about. But the trauma informed.
Pretty cool stuff. Really dedicated kind of work. And this is a brand new brochure that you guys have got. Where can I get this brochure?
Well, you can get that at Community Mental Health. You can go on our website, and you can pull down any of the programs that we have. Although it's kind of under construction, but it's accessible, I think, through there. But certainly we have those, and if anybody wants to pick them up and pass them out in certain places, we're happy to have that happen. Contact me, contact Hillary, contact Melissa.
What size of a population do you think have these issues in St. Clair County? Round figure.
Well over 80% of individuals receiving services have a history of trauma. In the general population, it's above 50%.
And then the other point that when her and I were discussing this is not everybody who experiences trauma has PTSD. Yeah. But I can't remember the percentage of that.
So for the general population, about 20% of females and 8% of males who experience a traumatic event go on to develop PTSD. So not everybody that experienced trauma will
Is it a
develop
reoccurring
PTSD.
kind of thing? If you get some treatment, get some help, then a year later, 2 years later, does it sometimes come back?
Sometimes, symptoms can intensify depending on, just the daily stressors and what's going on in that person's life at the time. But hopefully they're provided with enough tools that they'll recognize that and be able to cope with those without it developing back into PTSD.
Anything else, dear?
Well, not on that topic.
Oh.
But I do have more things to tell you.
You always have wonderful information.
So we do have a couple of things. We have the Autism Support Group is having their Family Fun Day, and it will be Thursday, June 28th at 11 o'clock at the Goodell's Park Splash Pad. People who come to that, participants will enjoy pizza, soft drinks, desserts, and fun and games in the splash pad, of course, so that'll be fun. Free. But if you'd like to attend, we hope that people would RSVP to Pat Gillard at 966-2587.
Okay.
If they forget that number, call our general number.
Right.
Say you want to participate in the Autism Support.
I want the free pizza.
Yeah, and you want the free pizza for the Autism Support Group Day. And then we also have a nationally recognized mental health recovery speaker coming in on Wednesday, July 18th from 11:30 to 1. We'll be at our main office in Port Huron. She's going to talk about recovery and wellness and all those kinds of things. Her name is Nanette Larson. We had her come in about a year ago, I think. She's really a very effective speaker, and that's free and open to the public also. And I'm sure there's CEs attached to that for people who need continuing ed credits. I don't know how many right now because it's not in my notes.
Okay. Have we missed anything?
I don't think, have we missed anything,
Hillary? You can
Hillary?
come back anytime as long as
Thank you.
She's
appreciate that.
out playing golf someplace.
I don't golf.
Oh, you don't golf?
Yes, I do. But anyways, thank you for having us. It's always a pleasure to be here.
It's always a pleasure.
Thanks.
We'll be back with our next guest in just a second. Summertime is a great activity time for young people, young students, young people out of school. That is going to be happening in Marine City coming up the end of the month, June 23rd. There is a football camp with a world-famous football player, Tiawan Jones. Nice to meet you, sir. Welcome to the Focus Show.
Thank you for having me.
You are going to be here in Marine City at Marine City football field on Ward Street.
Right.
Talk to me about the camp that you're going to have.
Just a football skills camp for kids of all ages. Usually it's the first 100 to sign up. Between me and myself, I'm gonna have a couple other professional athletes
Wonderful.
and college teammates that I had with Jeremy Langford, Darian Harris, Makaja Reynolds, Donovan Clark. Everybody just coming in and giving back to these kids because there's nothing around here like that other than like closer to the city or places like that.
Yeah, were you involved in Anchor Bay? Did you go to school there?
Yes, I went to Anchor Bay High School.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when did you graduate?
I graduated in 2011.
2011.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And then you've gone on for there.
Yeah, Michigan State and then New York.
Okay. Great stuff. It's an exciting life, isn't it?
It is.
Meredith, how did you get involved here?
I got involved through a nonprofit organization called Doctors for Health and Wellness. It's a 501c3 nonprofit, and the focus is to give back to the community and promote health development.
And Dr. Morgan, you've been around the community numbers of years now.
You're
You're a chiropractic physician in Marine City, and you're sort of the overall sponsor of this event. We congratulate you for that.
Yeah, well, thank you.
What's your involvement in sports?
Well, my sports background it allowed me to develop in certain skills that I actually use today. So that's one of the things I think that these skill camps are very important. If you start doing these particular things at a younger age, they carry over into later in life. So my sports background isn't too important. I want it for these kids here that are coming up now.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. So the conditioning camp is a week long?
No, just a Saturday.
Oh, just a Saturday.
Just a Saturday.
So what will happen? What will the kids get to experience?
bring the kids in. Of course, the kids will be excited to be around other, professional athletes and everything. So between myself, and all the other guys I have coming in, depending on what position the kids are coming up, they play in high school or middle school or whatever, youth football league. They can, so I'll be with the linebackers and teaching the linebackers, what I know, and then Donovan Clark is the offensive lineman, will teach the offensive lineman, and just so far and so on, just different type of skills that we learn, and then at the end, little competition, and just to, keep it exciting for the kids.
Yeah. How many kids did you say at the top of the show that we?
It was usually the first 100 to sign up, but
Okay.
I mean, if it's, a lot more, then we can, of course, work around it. Definitely.
Take care of them.
Definitely.
Do they have to be of a certain age? Do they have to have certain paperwork, parent clearances and that kind of good stuff?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have waivers at the camp for the parents to sign and everything, but other than that, I would say like the cutoff age would maybe be about 10.
Okay.
10 to 18.
Okay, the earliest age. Do they have to have a physical?
No.
Or anything to come before?
No.
Okay. You're not using pads?
No. No, we won't want to do it.
Talk to me about next season for you.
Well, next season, right now I'm a free agent, so I'm waiting on my agent to, work some things out and, hopefully want to stay here, Detroit, but I mean, we'll see where, everything else, lands. You never know what this business.
No, it's said time and time again, it's a business, and you just never know where you're going to end up or how long your career will be. It's not in your hands, it's actually in somebody else's hands.
Exactly.
Meredith, you got other things coming up that we're going to see you guys about and promote?
Of course, we always have events coming up, so I'll be sure to reach out and definitely let you know.
Okay. And Doc, talk to me about chiropractic science.
Well, in regards to the camp here, we're going to have an injury prevention and recovery area.
Oh, good. That's a good idea.
So, yeah, we'll have our lasers out there for soft tissue injuries to help speed up recovery. We'll have kinesio tape station. We'll have a massage station. All of this stuff here is designed because when we talk about these skill camps specifically, these are the hallmarks. These are the building blocks of these kids moving on into the future. So when they go on to be professionals, they already know how to use these particular skills that they've earned early on. Repetition is key. When we have these kids come in and they become an overall better athlete when they do these particular camps. The most important thing is that the other skills that they learn, It's been studies that shown that kids that do these skill camps, they're 29% improvement in mathematical skills, just right off the top. Their independence, their self-confidence. It's tons of research and information that show that these skill camps are really good for kids when they participate.
Exciting stuff. Got to be fun for you to work with the kids too.
Definitely. Because, I mean, the main thing, like he was saying, is building the confidence for the kids. Because, like I said, if I, luckily for me, my dad, we traveled around, went to different camps, Ohio, different, types of exposure camps. But, I mean, here, like, you get an idea, like, okay, if I, what I have to work on to go to those camps, So that's basically, the focus of this and, just trying to start kids at a younger age, just like I did.
You got to have the passion, though, for it, don't
Definitely.
you?
Have to have the passion.
Whether it's radio or broadcast or TV or public relations or whatever, you got to have the desire to do it, or it doesn't happen, does it?
Definitely. Have to. You're not going to, I mean, if you don't have
How
the
young
passion,
were
you're
you
not
when
going to
you
enjoy
started
it.
playing football?
7.
7 years old?
7 years old.
That's marvelous. Was that in Anchor Bay?
No, that was down in Detroit, Pal.
Okay.
In that little youth league. they
Heard
have
of
down there.
Detroit Pal, and they've done wonderful things for many, many years.
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to be the 23rd of June. How do I get tickets? How do I get signed up? All that kind of good stuff. Who wants to tell me about that?
Well, I mean, the flyer's there, and there's a Eventbrite that, we made for the camp. It's just a matter of, getting that out. So you can just, if anybody's interested, just call me, and I can send that over to them, because unfortunately we don't have it on the flyer.
Okay.
But, I mean, just like I said, you can call me and then everything. We can just, talk it over. And
Can you just show up on the 23rd, too?
yeah, you can.
Okay.
But it's just like, I just need to know, like, who's going to be there.
Yeah,
Because it's
you know how
like,
many
numbers
you-
and everything,
But this is the old Ward Cottrell football field on Marine City High School Stadium. It was affectionately called 10:30 a.m. on Saturday the 23rd until 1 p.m. So it should be fun. Rain or snow or sleet, you're still going to be there.
They're gonna be
Hopefully
there.
no snow.
Very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you.
Very nice.
Thank
Nice to see
you. You too.
And
Pleasure.
Nice to finally meet you, Doc.
Pleasure, Paul.
Okay, coming up next, we've got a Boy Scout and his dad and the Scoutmaster, and they've got a great story about a swing in Marine City. We're going to hear about that next. Time to time you hear about great projects that individuals are doing. That is something we discovered in this last week when we heard about a young man by the name of Markel, who is trying to fulfill his obligations for his Eagle Scout troop, Eagle Scout certification. His name is Jonathan Markel. Welcome to the Focus Set, sir.
Nice to meet
see
you.
How are you? And you brought along your Scoutmaster,
Yep.
has another tie with you too. I think he's called your dad, called Jason Markel. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you both. Talk to me about Scouts and what you have to do to fulfill the Eagle Scout requirements.
Well, I can start with Scouts. I started when I was in kindergarten, first grade-ish area.
Pretty good group, huh?
Started in the pack as a Tiger, made it all the way up through Weeblos 2.
Wow.
Started Boy Scouts. A few years later, I'm where I'm at now, and now I'm working on my Eagle Scout.
How long does it take to become an Eagle Scout?
Really, it depends. It depends on how fast you want to go through it. Normally, in our troop, we don't like to go through it too fast, but there's troops that will go through it, like fly through it.
What is your troop?
We're Troop 296 out of Marine City.
And that's a pretty active troop, pretty good sized troop, isn't it?
Yeah, we're all Scout ran.
Okay.
The Scouts run the whole troop.
Oh, really?
Normally.
Okay. Well, what's a Scoutmaster do then if the Scouts are running the troop?
Keep them, I give them direction and focus and guidance.
Wow.
They come up with the ideas. Last year we went to Pictured Rocks, did a 40-mile backpacking trip.
40 mile?
Yep. We left on a Monday and came home on Monday.
What a marvelous, marvelous experience.
You know, they came up with the idea, then that's where I take over with all the other adults and we put it
Logistics,
together.
Yeah.
Yep.
The travel and the food and
Exactly.
the locations, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep. Make sure that they're doing things safe and within
How many troopers are there in 296? Round figure.
18 to 20 boys and probably 10 to 15 adults that are active.
That's marvelous. What a great organization. 296, are you the ones that put the car show on?
We are.
That's a really big project. It's a fundraiser
Yes.
for you.
Yep, that's our main fundraiser. It's Maritime Days. It's the Sunday Maritime Days every year. That's how we run our year. We provide troop trailers. For our backpacking trip, we purchased 10 brand new tents, equipment. That's how we maintain it and are able to keep the costs down for the individuals.
And Troop 96, 296 been around for a while.
Yep, I went through it as a kid. Started when I was 6 years old and went all the way through, got my Eagle and stayed on. I'm starting my 30th year.
Oh my God,
So.
okay. So talk to me about your project.
So how we found it, it came up on Facebook. He showed me it. That looks like I said that's a good looks like a good project idea. Why don't we try and do that?
And what is it?
It's a wheelchair accessible swing.
Great idea.
At first we started with a single bay, so just the wheelchair for it to start in it. Well, with how phenomenal the fundraising has been going.
And we got a picture of it up there now. That's a similar one. That's not
Yep.
actually the one you're going to get, but there's lots of different models.
Yes.
But the concept is that a person in a wheelchair could roll on to this equipment and swing.
Yep.
Okay, keep going.
And then we went into it, and we had such a good amount of fundraising with the community helping that we were able to go to a 3-bay.
Wow, what's a 3-bay?
So it's got a wheelchair swing with a pull chain on the wheelchair swing so they can swing themselves.
Oh, wonderful.
2 belt seats like you would find at a regular playground.
Yeah.
And then like a little kids molded plastic head swing.
Oh, you're going to have all 3?
Yep.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
And they're all giving me in one set so that the wheelchair people or wheelchair access or bound people don't feel left out. They're right next to people that are swinging that are normal.
Where is it going to physically be?
Right next to the playground and at the beach in Marine City.
Oh, at that playground?
Yep.
Wonderful. Oh, that's great. That's absolutely, what a great idea. So you were talking about financing and your fundraising. Where are you at? How much more do you need? That kind of good stuff. Round figures.
He's raised about $5,000 so far.
5,000?
The original project was for the single swing, which was about $3,000. But after the initial wave of donations came in, we were way above that.
Oh,
so
marvelous.
We met with the city and said, hey, we want to go to this one. So he's at 5,000. He needs roughly 6,000 to put this one in.
Okay, how do people send you money? How do they get it to you?
We're collecting bottles and monetary donations. In fact, we've had donations from the community. We've had them as far as Florida, North Carolina, Virginia.
Do you have a web address or a street address? How do people, or how do they get a hold of you?
Facebook, they can message me on Facebook, or
And what would that address be?
just type in my name, Jason Markel,
Jason Markel.
and it'll come up. Or the City Marine City page. I've been watching that. Corner Grocery in Marine City, Tim's Party Store, and both Coughlin Jeweler locations have donation cans.
Oh, good.
They can
good,
just
good.
stop and drop off a donation, and
Yeah,
then
they're always involved.
Yep, and we'll pick it up.
Good. Well, that's marvelous. Well, you really need to. I hate to salute a scout, but because you guys salute so well, and I'm not a professional at it, but I salute you for your effort there. It was a great effort, and certainly you're going to make a lot of people happy.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you,
Good luck
too.
to you in the future. Good job, Dad. Well, that's about it for this edition of the Focus program. Thanks very much for tuning in. Till next time, I'm Paul Dingemans.
Thanks for watching Focus with Paul Dingeman. Focus is produced at the CTV Community Television Studios in St. Clair. For over 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter to our community.